You're on.
All right, beautiful.
All right, welcome into another edition of Tommy Mac Podcast here on 1010XL, their podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope life is treating you good. It's Friday, so we should feel a little bit better now that the work week is just about done. Hope you've had a good one. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are traveling up to Minnesota to take on the 4-5 Vikings, who've been on a roll as of late. Actually, they're 5-6. They've won 4 out of 5. So we'll get into that game, of course, as we always do, as we look ahead for the next opponent of your hometown team. Look around the division real quick. Cleveland at Tennessee Titans, both 8-3. I think Cleveland's a soft 8-3. I mean, they got some players now, but I don't know. I'm not totally sold on them. I think the Titans are a very tough football team, as they typically are. And then Indy and Houston play as well. Indy at 7-4. They lost to the Titans last week. So I looked at some other games. They didn't look that impressive to me. You know, nothing earth-shattering. But those two games should be pretty decent games, at least keeping it in the AFC South division. So your Jags travel up to the very freezing conditions in Minnesota. Of course, they play indoors, so that's a good thing. Our Jags at 1-10, no hope in sight. New interim general manager taking over in Trent Baalke. Coaching staff remains intact. At this point, whatever. Don't just finish the season, and then it's time to cut bait. In my opinion, and I hate to say it like that, because I know these guys are people too. It's their job. No, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. But nonetheless, we all know the time has come. It's time to move on. But for the players, man, hey, you got to keep playing. You got to keep going, because if you don't put good work on tape, whether it's this team, a new regime coming in, what have you, or another team, you're only hurting yourself. So you got to play well. You got to come to play. I don't see the Jags winning this game. It's so sad. Now look, I think they could have some success running the football. By the way, James Robinson, Rookie of the Year, Rookie Offensive Player of the Year. He better be in the running for the whole thing, because he is absolutely incredible the way he has run the football. I do credit the Jaguars' offensive line in the run game, because, look, you don't average 5 yards a carry or whatever he averages or did average last week, and I think he's about 4.5, 6, 7, somewhere in that range now. You don't average that by just being a great back. You got to have a good offensive line that can move people out of the way, that can give you, just enough crease to, boom, get in there and break it outside or take it up the middle, whatever the case may be. But James Robinson, just a fantastic year. What a find, what a gem. It's funny, when you look at general managers and the picks they make, we don't give them credit for James Robinson, but we give him, grief for missing on a first rounder. I get it, it's different. But at the same time, man, I tell you what, finding James Robinson, whoever found him, that scout, may be up for Scout of the Year in the entire football league, or should be. At least in my opinion. That is a very, very good thing. We may have some success running the ball against Minnesota. I will tell you this, I don't see how we're going to stop them from running the football. Now, Dalvin Cook is questionable with an ankle. He didn't practice yesterday, which was Thursday, so we'll see what happens there. But he's averaging 5.2 yards a carry. He's got 1,100 yards plus yards just rushing the football. This guy he's a sports car, man. He's a Ferrari. He's a Lamborghini. He's taking off, and you will not catch him. And if you don't defend the run better, like you did last week against Cleveland, the cutback. I mean, goodness gracious, come on. You just got to play it a little bit slower. And if you let this guy out of your reach, forget it. It's over. He's taking it to the house. He'll have 10 yards to carry if you don't get after it up front and make sure you're taking care of your responsibilities. Alexander Madison will go if it's not Dalvin, and he doesn't have a lot of carries, but he's got 3 touchdowns, I believe, and is averaging quite the yards per carry as well. Of course, in the passing game, you got Kirk Cousins, he's solid. He's their franchise QB. I don't know if I'd call him a franchise QB, but he is a solid player. 23 touchdowns, 11 picks, 68% completion percentage. I mean, look, they got a very good offensive line. They're big, they're nasty. Riley, Ezra Cleveland, who's questionable, I believe. I mean, they just got a solid. Bradbury, I think, is their center. He's very, very good. They're physical. They're big. They always have been. That NFC North, that's how they build their O-lines. Big and nasty, and they get after people. So, look, they keep Kirk pretty clean. They've only given up 21 sacks on, 11 games. So, one a game, 1.5, 2 almost. And, their defense isn't very good, though. That's the one thing. You might have a chance here, although they're on a roll, like I said, winning 4 out of the past 5. Not by, look, they beat Green Bay, so we didn't. So that's a good one-on-one. The other teams they beat, not world beaters by any means. But this is going to be a very physical day, a very physical game. And our run defense, if we don't step up and at least control Dalvin Cook, it's going to be a very, very long day, which, if I remind you, in 1998 we went to Minnesota. We were 11-5. We finished the year 11-5. I'm sorry. This was like this, maybe week 14. We'd already clinched the Central, but we were ready to play, we thought. Anyway, they crushed us. Randy Moss in his rookie year, he had like 3 touchdowns, bomb after bomb after bomb. We couldn't stop them. They beat us like 50-10. Coughlin ripped us a new one. Of course, we got knocked out in the second round, the divisional playoff round against the New York Jets, back when the Jets were pretty decent. Mike Glennon gets another shot at quarterback and should. Look, it's a what have you done for me lately type of league. You gave him a chance last week. He delivered decently enough. And, he deserves another shot. Look, no knock on Gardner, but Gardner's not the guy. He's just not. He's not your franchise quarterback. So there is no, we got to play him kind of thing. No, you don't. You don't have to play him the rest of the year if Mike Glennon, still continues to play okay. So, look, and again, I've got nothing against Gardner. He had his chance, and it's not all his fault because, the O-line just started playing, especially in the run game, playing better. The pass protection drives me nuts. How can you do well in the run game but not in the pass game? And it's not like they're getting killed all the time. It's just that crucial moments when you need that first down or you need to keep possession or you need to make a play and you beat for a sack. It's happened week after week after week. It happens. It's happened last year too. So, look, you got to get better at protecting your quarterback. But, I think Glennon deserves the shot, and let's see what he can do. Hey, Colin Johnson, nice game. I like that kid. I think our wide receiving core is in good shape. And by the way, new regime, whoever you are, you should keep Keenan because of that. Not because he was a great player. That has nothing to do with it. But he gets those guys to play. They're always prepared. They're always ready. And when their time is called, they typically step up and have over the years. So, I like our group there, and I think we'll be okay. That's another young talent that we have. Look, this team doesn't – it's not like they don't have talent. They have talent. They don't have enough talent, but they have some talent that you can build around. You just need critical position talent. You got some of it. You got a number 1 in Chark, no doubt. You don't have a shutdown corner. You don't have a stud left tackle. You don't have a premier pass rusher. Those are critical positions. The others are more, in my opinion, grunt. You're the glue. Yeah, you need a running back. You need a tough running back that can, continue to move the chains and get the clock run, especially in that towards the end of the game where you're trying to run down clock. You need a strong running back, but you don't need the greatest running back. If you get them, fantastic. But, they aren't always they don't always lead you to the promised land. Quarterbacks, of course, on the other hand. I'm not going to get into quarterbacks just yet. I know we talk a lot about what's to come down the road. Mike Dempsey asked, what would you give up to trade up to number 1 if you're at number 2? And I said nothing. I'm not trading up. If he falls, whoever falls to me, I'm going to take. And I know Trevor Lawrence is above and beyond everybody. It looks like that. But I want to see the whole process. I want to see the offseason. I want to see the combine. I want to see him throwing. I just want to see a little bit more about them. Whether that's the Senior Bowl, a lot of them don't play in it, but and they don't throw at the combine. But they throw out their pro day, and at least you get to see some things with them, footwork and technique and whatnot. But we'll see how that goes down the road. So real quick on third down, their defense is very good. They only give up 36%, so 1 every 3. They're 2 out of 3. They're getting off the field. The offense for Minnesota is 43.5% on third down. That's good. Fourth down's interesting. So their offense, Minnesota's offense, 50% conversion on fourth down. But their defense giving up 68% conversion on fourth down. So, Doug, you normally go for it on fourth down. You can take maybe some comfort in that stat and see if that can help you. Don't make any, dumb decisions. It was dumb to go for 2 when you were going to be up by 3. At that point of the game, that was a dumb call. I don't know why you did it. Who knows? But don't do it again because that was dumb. And that's all I can say about it because then you only had a chance to tie it up then. If you kick that extra point, you're up 20-17. All you need now is 1. You don't need 2. And now you're right there. So nonetheless, such a shame that it came down to that. Seems like that's just been the way of the season and the way that it's gone down. So, again, we had heard that Dave Caldwell is fired. We understand that. It's time for him to move on. We wish him well. Trent Baalke takes over the interim general manager duties. Trent Baalke came over from San Francisco. He was there for about 14 years, somewhere around there. When he was hired, I did a little research on him, made a few phone calls, and all were pretty positive overall. So let's see what he can do. Excuse me. Look, I think when the move to me doesn't really matter right now with Dave Caldwell. I think as long as the idea is we're getting rid of the staff, at least the head coach and the coordinator, it's time to go. It's just time to go. And if they're okay with that, or if that's the plan, then I'm okay with getting rid of Caldwell. GM firings in the middle of the year don't affect a football team. Coach firings during the year affect the football team. There's a total difference. So I don't think it really resonates with the team too much. That Dave Caldwell's no longer there. Other than, you may like him. He's a nice guy. You're going to miss seeing him around. But other than that, it's not going to affect your football team. So I don't know why Shad Khan did it. Fire the coach if you're going to do anything, And then you say you're committed to the end of the year. Well, I don't have a problem with that as long as you're getting rid of him at the end of the year. And you should have already made your decision. And I'm sure Doug should know that, unless, I don't know, crazier things have happened. They kept him, that's the one thing I have that I'm not real happy about with Shad Khan is, he hasn't been hands-on enough where, you should have known to get rid of these guys before. Doug Marrone shouldn't have been your head coach. And Doug Marrone should have fired Todd Wash a long time ago. And nobody made him do it. And sometimes the owner's got to say, hey, coach, this guy's got to go. He's not working. Shad Khan's not that kind of owner. So maybe he changes. I hope he does. I hope he goes out and gets a real football operations guy that knows how to put together a roster and a staff and knows how to do it. And again, like my last podcast, you got to match the talent to the coach. He's got to be able to handle the coach's style. It's not going to work. You can't change people, and that goes for everyday life. Which brings me to everyday life. New news out there with Lot J and now stadium upgrades. They just slid. Hey, by the way, yeah, we're going to slide that into the deal. The thing that, look, I want Lot J to happen. I do. I want it all to happen. I want the Jags to stay here forever. I do. But it's amazing to me that the owner and the team could go to the city and ask not only for $250 million or whatever it is for Lot J, then ask for stadium upgrades. And if they don't get them, then, Lot J's not going to happen and blah, blah, blah. They got to sign a longer-term lease if that's the case. Look, 3 years ago, whatever that was, pools, cabanas, the clubs were redone. The end zones were great. I keep forgetting the name, up in the south end zone, that exclusive club. Seats were better. Everything was better. So that was your... my throat gets really dry in here for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's me talking too fast. But if you won... So Shad Khan is 1-8 in 9 seasons with winning seasons. 2017. And that's terrible. And I always felt like these distractions, the cabanas, the lights, the music, the blah, blah, it always took away from I want to see football. I don't care about that other stuff. But if we focused on winning, if you really were more hands-on, if you understood that what you had in place wasn't working, and I know you rely on people because you're not here, so you got to rely on people. But if you focused on winning, that heartburn going to the city is so much easier to take. You go into the playoffs. You're a perennial playoff team. You're a perennial championship team. You're winning. People love it. Let me look at the New England Patriots. Because this thing, Lot J, is kind of, mirrored after them. Build a village, right, around the stadium. Now, that village for the Pats is far away from Boston. It's not in the city, so it's a little different. It's out in the suburbs of Foxborough, as we all know. It's a grand, mixed-use, restaurants, bars, things to do, watch the game, blah, 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 everything. If they weren't champions, if they weren't as successful as they are and have been, maybe not this year, but prior to Tom Brady leaving, do you think that place would be rocking? Do you think people would go out of their way to go down there? Or because of the success, people want to go there? I think it's a little bit of both. The truth's always somewhere in the middle here down on earth, but that winning makes people want to be around that place. Foxborough's out in the boonies. I've been there, and I went to school in Boston, so it's out there in the boonies. You're not going out of your way to go there unless you're going to be part of a great organization, which you are right there in their whatever it's called. Dallas did the same thing, but they're the Dallas Cowboys. We are not. We are not a typical NFL city, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. We're a smaller community, and it does affect us big time, and we all want the downtown to be better and be rocking and all that, but when your team stinks, I don't want to go down there. I live at the beach. You really got to pull me away from the beach. I'm sorry, you do. We have all the restaurants we need. We got the beach. We got everything you need out there. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to cross the ditch if I don't feel like it. So for me to go from the beach all the way downtown to party in this proposed Lot J, will I do it? Yeah, once in a while. Will I go out of my way to do it? No, probably not. Unless there's something incredible down there that I just, we love going to, but that's a far ride. I don't know. Maybe build it somewhere else. That's an idea, I guess. But I don't like this. Now we're asking for stadium upgrade. By the way, it's like what do they call pork barrels in politics, Here, oh, by the way, we want upgrades. What for what? You don't deserve upgrades. That's the thing. And don't give me this, well, no, if you got to keep a team. Look, you got to earn your right, man. You got to earn the ticket. People don't have to go to your games just because you're here. You got to make them want to go to your games. I've been saying that for years. It drives me nuts when we don't get the support. Well, you stink. Why am I? Look, I get to go for free. I don't want to go. I'm not going. I didn't go last year hardly. For what? To pull away from my family to go watch a team that's not good? I'll sit at home and watch. I'll do that. I'll go out and play ball with the dogs at halftime. I'll sit there and have a beer, eat my own food. I'm not going downtown for that. I'm sorry, I'm not. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I don't like it. I hope they figure it out, with everything. But if this is some kind of move to put your heels in and, hey, if we don't, because here's what happens. Here's the reality. Owners do it all the time. We don't get a stadium. We don't get our new stadium. We don't get the upgrades. What do we start thinking? Where are we going? They do. That's what happens. It happens in the history of the league. It always comes down to stadium issues. So I hope that's not the ploy here, because it's not right in my book. Go win. You know what? How about have 2 winning seasons and then go back? And then we'll be happy to give you whatever you need to make that downtown the way that you envision it. You've been listening to the Tommy Mac Podcast right here on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Have a great day, great weekend, and go Jags.